I forgot my hat. How y'all doing tonight? Hey, do y'all want to talk about insurance? Yeah, I know. I don't like talking about it either. I sure don't like paying for it. But I had a question, and I'm going to get into that question as soon as we get some people in here and get started. So if you're watching it on the replay, y'all come on back and watch it again later. How you doing, pork chop? In the discussion, please ask if anyone has experienced a wreck while doing a spark delivery and how it was handled. Did they notify Walmart or just deal with it privately? Well, I can tell you one person that may or may not have been involved in a wreck, a little fender bender, and not it wasn't their fault. And but it wasn't with Spark. It was with probably Uber Eats. And I contacted somebody, or that person contacted somebody that they knew that was in the insurance business, and they suggested, unless something's asked, just don't say anything. And I didn't. Or, I mean, they didn't. How you doing, Adam? Good to see y'all here tonight. I have a separate monitor over here now. Thanks to Emily's son. Everybody hear me okay? I didn't even check the mic. I'm assuming it's on. I guess I could go over here to settings and to mic audio, and it looks like the little green lines are moving, so we must be in good shape. Hey, how you doing, Rodney? Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm going to get right into this, because people that's watching the replay don't want to sit there and listen to me ramble and all this. How you doing, Don? Yeah, loud and clear. That's good. Not too loud, I hope. But let me get over here to the screen, and let me pull this up. And now let me flip this over here. Now, hey, Rideshare Lisa, how you doing? Hope everybody is doing well. Hey, listen, we're going to be talking just a little bit about auto insurance and the rideshare business and well the gig business. But let me put a disclaimer out there right now. I am no professional. I don't know nothing about it. However, I do know somebody that does, and I'm going to check with them because this question was asked pretty like yesterday, I think, and I hadn't had time to talk to this person, and I'd like to get some facts if they'll commit to stating them. But keep in mind, every state is going to be different. I know Pork Chop is here in Texas, so her and our insurance is going to be the same as how they play out. I'm still working. You're still out there hustling, huh? All right. I am doing great. Anyway, let me flip this screen to add that on here. And where is this? Let's see if I can get this on top. Important information. Well, it's not popping up. Well, let's see. Why is that not popping up? Let me minimize that. Oh, well, it's not popping up. Anyway, this was an email. It's not popping up. Oh, well. This was an email from Pork Chop. She's already, how you doing, Tommy? What's up? Pork Chop says, I had to change my insurance this year, and I just mentioned to the girl that I was waiting to become a Spark driver. Apparently, the gig work is so popular there is a rideshare coverage on our policy. I think it costs something like $25 a year to cover 2 cars. I just kind of Googled that, and from what I saw, it was a lot higher than that. So if you can get it for that, if you want to. But it is showing. Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, she goes on to say, once I got the policy, I was reading all this double talk. You all know how people throw a bunch of fancy words and gibberish in there to confuse you. And I was going to go sit again with the girl. And then this came in the mail yesterday. That's a stupid. Yes, I agree. I have a good notion to tell her what I decided. Blah, blah. Okay. Now, what this is saying, if y'all haven't read it already, thanks for adding rideshare coverage to your policy. We always want to be transparent with our customers so that this notice is to help explain how the coverage works. Although you'll find some general info below, coverages may vary by state. So please read your policy and contract for more details. For each rideshare trip, there are 3 different periods. A waiting period, waiting for assignment, that's period 1. Driving to pick up the riders or the goods, food, whatever, groceries, whatever, that's period 2. And driving with the riders or goods is period 3. Your rideshare liability coverage with us will end once you accept an assignment and take the first steps towards completing that assignment, periods 2 and 3. In other words, we will only provide coverage in period 1, which is when you're just sitting around in the parking lot or whatever. It's important to check with your rideshare provider to determine if they will provide coverage for the rest of the trip. If they don't provide bodily injury and property damage liability coverage for periods 2 and 3, you may need to obtain a commercial policy. To see if we sell commercial policies in your state, please call blah 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 800-895-2886. Okay, now the thing is, from what I have come across, is Uber seen, let's see, this is with Progressive. How you doing, Drone Days? Oh man, I hope everybody's doing well. But that kind of got me, that I was Uber Eats apparently has the better coverage. I've got windows open here, so let's see, who was this? Oh, this was Forbes.com. Okay, yeah, this had something I wanted to read. Examples of employers and insurance for delivery drivers. Depending on who you're driving for, your employer might provide auto insurance. Of course, we are our employer. If you're a driver, make sure you understand where the employer's coverage ends and begins, and whether there's a coverage gap between the employer policy and your personal auto policy insurance. In other words, between your State Farm insurance or whatever you have, and say you're driving for Spark or Uber Eats, Uber Eats, I know, has a policy, but that policy will not cover you while you're sitting in the parking lot. It only covers you while you're taking your orders or on your way to pick up the order and delivering that order. And once you finalize that order, their coverage on your vehicle is over. Now, my question is, if you did get into an accident and nobody asked you anything, because the insurance company's not going to come out there. It's going to be the cops making out a paper report and writing down information. And unless you offer that information, who's going to know? Let me switch this back over. But who would know? I'm not saying be dishonest or anything, because especially if you're going to be hauling people, that's a whole different ballgame, because you're talking about bodily injury then. It's kind of hard to explain why there's 2 people in your back seat and nobody in your front seat or whatever, or you don't even know their names. I wouldn't want to get into a complicated spider web like that. But if you're just hauling food and stuff, do as you wish. But I do know from like I was saying a while ago, I know somebody that had a small fender bender a couple of years ago while in the process of delivering some food. that person that was in that fender bender notified the customers of what happened, and the customer was understanding, and they didn't throw a fit or nothing. They actually felt bad about it, but nothing was ever said. Insurance paid, everything was fine. I would have the coverage just in case. Oh yeah, I could see how it could be, especially. How you doing, Eric? I didn't even say hi to you. I could see how it could become a big mess real quick if you're hauling people. Now, everybody's different and everything's different, and you may have officers that are more inquisitive about what you were doing. Why are you out on the street? And it's their right to ask that. I think. Well, not really. I don't think it is, but they may have the right. I don't know. I'm not into the legal stuff. And like I said at the very beginning, I am not a professional. I'm not advising anything. I'm just what Pork Chop was asking is, what have y'all experienced? Have any of y'all had an accident and had to use your insurance, or had to use Uber or DoorDash or whatever? Has anybody done that? And if you're watching this on the replay, please leave a comment down below and let us all know. I'm curious too. This person that I know that was involved in that one, it wasn't no big deal, and there was no injuries or anything, and that's where it could get into a big mess, is if there's injuries and he said, she said, and they said, and all this and that and other. But everybody was in agreement of what happened. Even the witnesses are there. So I got a rideshare rider, didn't cost that much. I don't know if you saw what I put up a while ago. Pork Chop was saying that it was like $25, but this is, I guess, for doing Spark. $25 to add coverage a year. Pork Chop, what insurance? I don't know if you may have told me, but I don't remember if it was State Farm or Allstate or Farmers. I don't really remember. How you doing, T. Ron? Hope you're doing okay today. But what I was reading on Uber Eats, and I'm going to throw a link in right here, and this is from Forbes. Right here. Let me put that there. If y'all are using Progressive, okay. And that gives you a little information right there on, see, the website says Postmates, and everybody knows Postmates is now Uber Eats. So as to the date on this, which if y'all go to looking at this stuff, always look at your dates of the webpage. Well, this one was updated March 31st, 2021, so it's probably pretty accurate. They're incorrect on Postmates, but they even have Domino's Pizza delivery, or Domino's Pizza listed. But Uber Eats, add that back there. Uber Eats offers commercial auto insurance policy for all drivers except in New York. Uber's coverage has up to $1 million in liability coverage for the moment you accept a delivery assignment until you complete that delivery. And that's what I was saying a while ago. When you accept it and when you complete it, you're covered supposedly by Uber Eats or Instacart, Grubhub, whoever. But from what I've read on this page, it looks like Uber Eats actually has the best policy there. Got Liberty. I had Progressive. Progressive, for some reason, went way up. And I'm not real sure why, because I didn't have, I did, anyway, there's no reason for them to have went up. And then I switched to Allstate. But as soon as I got to Allstate, I found out that Germania, do y'all have Germania in your area? I don't know if that's a local thing or if that's a national thing. I'd heard commercials on it, so I knew they were a valid company, but they were actually cheaper than Allstate, and Allstate was because Progressive went up. They even went up on my mom's insurance too. There was no reason for it. So it is what it is, I guess. Insurance is a money making deal. I see. I had another window open. Actually, this is Progressive right here. I'm just going to share this link with y'all, and y'all can check it out if you want to, when you have time, if you so desire to do so. But it was kind of transportation network provider TNC coverage versus Progressive Rideshare endorsement. So if you're not insured and you feel like you should be, I would recommend checking into this stuff because, like they said a while ago, it could get to be a tangled web of mess. Excuse me, I'm going to get a drink of water. I'm rattling away. But seriously, I would check in on the insurance, and if it wasn't that much, especially if it's only like $25 a year. What concern? My biggest concern, New York here and Liberty was okay with DoorDash. I think Farmers Rideshare Lisa says I think Farmers Insurance is the only insurance that has right here endorsement in New York. That who I have. Oh, that's who you have. Okay. But what I would be concerned about is, okay, if you have a little fender bender, I'm not talking about like bodily injuries or anything, and you say, I was delivering food and I need to contact DoorDash. Okay. I'm worried about that. Is DoorDash going to tie that stuff up and you're going to be sitting there either out of a car or driving around a wrecked car, and the other person's not going to get their car fixed until DoorDash gets in contact with their insurance company, with your insurance company. It's kind of like health insurance. If you got, so you got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and you have Medicare. One's going to pay primary, and one's going to pay secondary, but they got to coordinate the benefits, and that can tie some time up. And if you wreck your car and it's not drivable, man, you better have a backup plan. So I don't know. Y'all just, how you doing, Sarah? We're talking about car insurance and rideshare. Pork Chop had a question about anybody that drives for Spark if they have the rider or the policy to do rideshare and deliveries. And I personally don't, but that's just, sorry, my talk picks it up. Hey, if I could figure out how to make it work on my new phone, I love that phone, by the way. If I can figure out how to make it work, I'm gonna have to get Emily to show me how it works, because I know she does it, and that would be really nice, especially when you're driving. You just reach up there and hit the button and just talk. And of course, I guess you better be careful what you're saying. And it depends on who you're talking to, which most of the time it's either going to be her or my mom, because nobody else, I don't really text anybody else. My son and daughter text me here and there, but anyway, y'all just, what do y'all think on that insurance? Do y'all think it's worth carrying? And if it's worth carrying, do you carry it? And if you carry it, have you had to use it? And how did it work out for you? Like I said, if you're watching this on a replay and you have experienced any of that, please let us know. Leave a comment down below. And I'd kind of like to know. I couldn't afford, because one place it was saying like an extra $200 a month. And there's no way I could do that, especially with gas prices and all that. Those gas prices finally hit North Central Texas. $4.40 a gallon, It's actually five. No, that was for diesel. Diesel was 520, I believe. Can't remember now, but it's getting up there. I've never seen it this high. But anyway, how long do you think it is going to take them to mention to the cops insurance that you are delivering their Walmart order? No telling how many or how much commercial policy would be. Yeah, you don't know. I mean, the cops have the legal right to, I guess, ask you and whatnot what you're doing. But unless they ask, I personally, I wouldn't volunteer any information that was not pertinent. And I wouldn't be trying to hide anything. It's just why mention things to complicate things unless there is a reason. So, yeah. Luckily, that person that that person that I know had the accident had Progressive at the time. Progressive didn't ask anything. Granted, it was a minor accident, but even minor accidents cost a lot of money now. You can scratch the paint off a bumper cover, those plastic bumper covers they have on these cars, and that can turn into $1,000 just like that. That's insane. So little fender benders are not just fender benders anymore. They're quite an expense. So anyway, if y'all have any advice or any thoughts on that, let us know. Because I'd sure like to know. Was the wreck on the main road or the neighborhood? It was on a main road. And I'm at a pretty busy intersection as well. What it was is a girl was coming south, and she tried to beat the red light and turned across the northbound traffic, and the northbound traffic was blocked by other vehicles. So they went just kind of with the other one, and all of a sudden the one big one-ton pickup just stopped, and the little car kept going, and the other car kept going, and they just kind of collided, just hit the back quarter panel of the oncoming car. But like I said, it was a minor thing, and the customer is not going to get their food or their groceries unless, and that was something else I was thinking about. I'm not real big on Facebook, but I do belong to a Facebook group that does the DoorDash, and a lot of them do Spark and Grubhub, Uber Eats, and all that. It's just kind of an all-in-one group and if you have the opportunity to join one of those groups, if you're into Facebook, join a little group that's in your area. And if something like that did happen, you might be able to just send one of your friends, Facebook friends, a quick message, tell them what happened, and ask them if they're busy and out, and they might run by and pick it up for you. It would be worth asking. That way the customer still gets their food, because in the end, that's why we're out there. It's for the customer. Accidents happen, things happen, but the show must go on. We got to continue to try to get that customer their products. So if you have, like I said, if you have one of those Facebook groups in your area, or another driver or something, you can text them or send them a message, like on the group. They have a group chat that's open all the time, and you can just send messages and stuff. We kind of update each other on road closures. That's one of the advantages. And if there's a wreck on the main road, we can kind of put that on there, and everybody kind of knows to avoid that area. So it has its advantages. So true. That's a good idea. Yeah. Talking about the Facebook groups, and if that's what you're talking about, yeah, it really is. It's Facebook. And so, and it's just kind of like sometimes here on YouTube. Sometimes you get the drama going on, and some of it's kind of humorous to read or watch or whatever. But I get the only time I get on there is, to kind of catch up on what's going on. I kind of monitor it, but I don't get overly involved in the chit chat and the meeting up at the on the border for margaritas. I don't partake in that. It's nothing that I have against the people. It's just that's just not my thing, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, those Facebook groups are a good idea to help each other out. Kind of like here on YouTube, we all try to help each other out. And I don't know if y'all watched Sarah's video the other day. Um, she had ordered food, and she sat there and watched that driver pick up the food, or mark it as picked up, drove all the way to another restaurant, then drove to a neighborhood, and drove back to the restaurant where they originally was at to pick up her order, and then finally got it to her. That's ridiculous. And Sarah, I believe you is 100% correct on taking that tip back. I would have, and I would have probably. I don't. I've never used the apps to order food, but if there was a place to put a comment or something, I would be nice about it, and but I would let them know, because it's kind of like, and you even mentioned it, even if the driver did, it was their fault. They shouldn't have done it. But if they go to the restaurant and the restaurant says it's going to be 20 minutes, and they've got another order that just popped up, and they know they can get it, and they can get over and get that order and get it delivered before your order is ready, that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't wait the 20 minutes, but if it's 10 or 15 minutes away and it's going to be 20 minutes before that first order is ready, I get it. But don't mark that order that it's picked up. That's what I didn't agree with. If it's not ready, it's not ready. Send the customer a quick message and say, sorry for the delay. They just started to order when I arrived. I mean, that's even on the reasons for the order being late for the driver to check. So, if the order is going to be late and it's going to be late, let the customer know. Because especially if it's DoorDash, because they're probably already ticked off, because unless it was a really good order, that order's probably been passed over, so that customer's already ticked off. I don't think Uber Eats is that bad, and I don't understand why it's like that. But yeah, I would imagine it was frustrating. I'd been ticked off, and and Sarah made mention that you would like to say something to the driver, but how do you approach a driver like that, especially some of the drivers I've seen, without offending them? If you could say, hey, I understand, things happen. Just, I've been doing this for a while, so be careful on clicking that you picked up the order. Be careful of that. But they may take it the wrong way and come back and egg your car, slash your tires, or ring your doorbell at 4 a.m. Who knows? But I ain't saying be a chicken, but use a little common sense. But the drivers need to know what they did, because some of them don't really think. I don't know how many of y'all I've worked with, and some of y'all may be younger, but if you've worked with younger people, and even if you'll admit it, when you first started working, there were some things that you probably did that you wouldn't do now, because now you understand that it wasn't the right way to do things. But if nobody tells the younger people, or in a nice way, don't be hateful about it, but in a nice way. And I was watching Pedro's video. I think it was Pedro. Yeah, it was Pedro's live Sunday night. He was talking about, one of the questions was, no, it wasn't Pedro. It was Rideshare Rodeo Steve with Lou and Mary. Had them on there, and they were talking about how it could improve on drivers. And I honestly think there should be like team leaders or local supervisors, so to speak. You know, you don't have to be a butthead, but I think it would be better if before you got approved to deliver, you made one or two rides with a designated person to kind of show you the ropes instead of just throwing you out there to the wolves. Because if they just throw you out to the wolves and nobody tells you any different, you don't know any different. So that kind of falls back on DoorDash or Uber Eats or whoever for not doing. I think they ought to have training, but that's just my thoughts. So anyway, with all that being said, what do y'all got going on? I've rattled on long enough, and I kind of like to hear from y'all. What's happening? We only have 7 people in here. If y'all are haven't hit the thumbs up button, be sure and hit the thumbs up button. But what do y'all have anything exciting going on in your lives? And besides getting frustrated with Uber Eats drivers? I don't know. Is anybody, let's see, I don't know if any of y'all are going to the big conference meeting in St. Louis. I'm going, well, 99.9% sure I'm going. Not just for that, but I went to St. Louis a few years ago, and I'd like to go back. That's a pretty cool town. I'd like to see a few more things there. So, Adam says, how's Spark been for y'all? Sure, I just got home from delivery, and Adam, they seem to be changing things in Georgia. I don't know if you watched that video I put out the other day, and if you may have got the same email I did, but apparently Spark is going to. Apparently they already did, but I haven't noticed it. But they're supposed to be raising the pay to help compensate for the gas. Now, I haven't really noticed a big pay increase, and it may just, go from market to market and spread out. Maybe they started it up in Illinois or wherever Spark's from, but Chicago, whatever. But I haven't really noticed it. Have you noticed an increase in the pay at all? Anybody? Got a drone stuck in a tree. If that's well, it's exciting for you, that's for sure. Man, I still want a drone. My problem is I want the not the oh man, DJI, the the one that's like that, just folds all up. That thing's like $1,800 though. I'd love to have that though. That's be cool. And I'd worry about wrecking it, but from what I've watched on all those, they have pretty much autopilot, and they have the return to home and the self landing and all that. I'd be a little leery on flying that thing just completely on my own, so I'd want all that assistance. But yeah, Adam says, yeah, single orders for less pay, it seems. So maybe, but you got to be out longer. Only some stores, though. The DJI Mini, is it the Mini? It's the Pro one with the Fly More kit. I can't remember. And I haven't watched any of that stuff since last year, so they may have something different out now. But I know it was like $1,800 last year or the year before last. Adam says, so it's like the split up the round robin offers, so maybe it's less miles for more pay, but you make less per hour. Yeah, that could be it. There's going to be a catch to everything. One thing I have noticed lately, and I don't know if it's like that everywhere, But right at about 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the evening, there is a bunch of those batch orders that come out. I mean, that seems to be all there is for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then it kind of goes back to the double orders. I very rarely see a single order. It's always double orders. It never fails. They get a good single or good order, and then they map it up or put it up, wrap it up with a really bad order. That's a mess. Don says, been waiting on background check on Spark. Been 2 weeks. I don't know. Spark may be getting so popular, it's getting a waiting list. I know I signed up for Curry, I don't know, a month and a half ago. I'm still on the waiting list, but I did notice the email that I got kind of made it sound like Curry, in my area anyway, are looking for people that's driving bigger vehicles, vans and maybe SUVs. I don't know. But because it was saying from my option, my stuff I would be able to deliver in a car, they don't have enough demand for that in my area yet, but they'll notify me as soon as they do. Oh, they stopped the shopping trips for about 2 weeks, but tomorrow they gave an incentive, so I hope I got a couple of those. I love those shop and deliver orders. I know a lot of people don't. I've heard people say I wouldn't do them, but man, the Walmart Spark app, if y'all haven't done them, they tell you what the aisle it's on and the section number of the aisle, which I didn't even know. And I worked at Walmart for a time, but I didn't know they had section numbers on those aisles till one of the pickers told me. And it's easy, but I only take them for like 20 items or less. And I was kind of in my mind thinking, like a lot of people will only take a delivery that's $2 a mile. And I was kind of wondering if it would work out if you only took, like, say, $1 per item. You know, if it was 17 items, it'd pay $17. That would be your minimum. I don't know. I haven't really put a pencil to it and did the calculations or anything. But that's kind of what I was thinking. Hey, we got 15 people in here now. All right. Y'all's new people, howdy. Appreciate y'all dropping by. You have an SUV and still on the wait list, Rideshare, Lisa. Well, that could be. I don't know. I would be interested in seeing somebody that signed up and said they drove a 1-ton enclosed van and see how quick they could get on. Of course, if my luck, I'd get a big old order, but I know somebody I was watching said that they do Curry and all the orders that they've had so far have all fit in their car. So I think that was Hannibal that was saying that. Oh, how you doing, Carrie? Hope you're doing well tonight. Eric says, I read something about Walmart doing their own delivery. Now, is that true or does anyone know? I heard that somebody I actually think that was on Steve's live the other night with Lou and Mary on Rideshare Radio. And I said something about it. And I think somebody commented, said that it was that Walmart is hiring for their own drivers, but it's just for in-home deliveries where you actually take it in their house and put it up for them. And I don't know that to be fact. That's just what somebody commented to me on during that live stream. Electric. We have a visitor. She's tried to sneak in. Oh, she's sitting over here. Wait, can you at least say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, she said hi. She's been out dashing and dancing.
Yep.
Oh, Adam, an electric van. Walmart employees with body cam. They will do in-home or whatever it is. Huh. Well, I don't know. I mean, I understand if you was going to do in-home delivery, the liability involved in going in somebody's house, how you might want it to be somebody that was actually an employee because of the liabilities involved in that. And most of us that's been doing this for a while probably have carried stuff in a house for people, and you probably shouldn't do that. Use your best judgment on it. The only times I've done it, it's been elderly people that was unable to do it, and most of the time it was just sit it inside the door. It wasn't carrying it to their kitchen. Now I have had some deliveries going to some assisted living apartments, and I have carried it and put it in there. But you're at a risk. You're putting yourself in a situation where you really probably shouldn't. Anytime you go inside a household, you know, but use common sense, use your best judgment. Yeah, I carry in for the elderly, especially if it's like cases of water. I had that one guy. He was told me just to leave it out there, but the sun was setting and his front porch faces the west, and he wanted me to just leave that water out there. Can you imagine how hot that water would be within an hour? But I don't know. I do what I feel, and that's so far in life. I haven't got myself in a situation, but it can happen just like that. So y'all be careful out there. Don't put yourself in too much of a situation. And things can happen to guys just the same as girls, but we all know that girls sometimes are at more of a risk of something happening, and things happen to guys too. And I'm not putting one in more important than the other, but girls, you got to be careful, and the guys has got to be careful going into a house that's females are there. And I don't know how many of y'all have a college where you live, but we have a Midwestern State University, and it has the dorms. And I have had on there that said, they wanted it brought into the dorm, and not well. They're regular dorms. Not They have apartment type places and leave it at the front door, just like a regular apartment. But some of them are actually like a motel. Is that what it is? Where you go inside, and then there's rooms all around the hallways. And I will not go inside a female dorm. I don't think a male has any business in there unless he is conducting business and has somebody with him. It's just cover your booty. It's like when I worked out at the state hospital, we had dorm watch, but if the guys could watch outside the dorm in the main hallway, you could sit outside the females' sleep area. But if anything started going down, hollering and whatever, you better get somebody to go with you, because anybody can say anything happened when nobody else can see you. So, see why? Yeah, don't go in them female dorms, and 90% of the time it would be fine. But society has changed, and people's changed, and things happen. Things can be misunderstood or whatever. You could look at somebody wrong, and they might think that you're having dirty thoughts or something. I don't know. Just don't get yourself in that situation. Be careful out there. Pork Chop says, before you sign off, can we take a poll? Who has the rideshare I meant to do that. Rideshare insurance. If not, will they get it after this, or everybody take their chances. I've never done it, but I was going to set up a poll, but I got that second monitor and I was working on getting that hooked up and getting that going. It's kind of nice to be able to see that over there. But I meant to put a poll up that who has rideshare insurance. So if y'all do have rideshare insurance, let us know here or leave it in the comments later if you're watching the replay, because I'd like to know too. And if you don't have it, do you plan on getting it? Let us know. You know, inquiring minds want to know. So Drone says he has it, and I believe Rideshare Lisa a while ago said that she had it as well. Make it for the next week. You know, what I'm thinking about doing is, and I've got to talk to somebody to find out if they're willing to do it and to go on camera about it. Because, you know, there could be a lot of liability. So I get it if they don't want to do it. But I would like to talk to somebody that, like an insurance agent, and get their perspective on it and what they think. And even if I could just, do like the CIA or whatever and blur out their face and distort their voice. But it would be nice to know somebody's honest opinion. But I don't want to get nobody in trouble. But I'd like to do a video on that because I think you had a good point on this, Pork Chop. I like that. It wasn't really what I had planned for tonight's live stream, but when I got that email from you, I like that idea, and I think it's valid. It's something that everybody needs to at least consider and look at their options and see what they are. Because you could get yourself in a big bind. Like I said, if there's bodily injury or a fatality, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. So there again, cover your butt. You know what? Do what you want to do, but remember, you're the one that's responsible at the end. I mean, it's all on you. There was something else that I was wanting to say, and I didn't mean for it to get this late before I even mentioned it. And well, she's not here, but in case Delivering with Carrie watches this video later on the replay, she had made mention that she was going to get a GoPro to do her YouTube videos with, and I made a note that says, remember, GoPro splits, and if y'all use a GoPro, you may already know this if you've been using one, but I think she just got it, so she may not know yet, but she'll figure it out real quick. Remember, GoPro splits video files, so when you go to edit, remember, you may have like a file named GH014075, and further down the list, after the 76 and 78, 78, 9, 80, you may have another one, and it'll say GH24075. And just remember, you have to, when you load them up in your editor, put that one blah 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 75, and then drop in 2 blah 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 175, because those first numbers, don't go just by those last two numbers. Look to see if it's a 1, begins with a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4, because it splits it like every 10 minutes. That was just, if you watch this later, Carrie, that was for you. Because that took me a while to figure out, and it was aggravating. But I finally think I got it figured out. Oh. What did I miss? Rideshare Lisa does your cover while you are taking the trip. The one Grandpa was discussing only covered while you were waiting at the store. It covers me. Lisa says it covers me for the ride share, not deliveries. You need commercial insurance for that. Okay. Oh, I'm still here, Adam. Sorry. Have a good night. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, y'all check into this insurance and see what you think. And like I said, I want to try to make a video with somebody that, and remember, well, I want to try to make a video with somebody that knows in Texas. What I was going to say is remember, every state's going to be different. The basics may be the same, but state it's going to vary by state. So, and I'd like to find out more on that. So, if y'all have any comments or thoughts on it, leave it down in the comment section. And I really appreciate everybody coming by. I'm going to go ahead and get off here because honestly, I'm kind of tired. Grandpa's tired. And I got a few things I got to do before I go to bed. So, one thing I want y'all to do though is hit the thumbs up button. We're down to one person. Well, that's okay because somebody may be watching this on the replay. Anyway, y'all keep smiling, dashing, dancing, prancing, doing whatever it is you want to do. Just keep doing something because you're going to grow old if you don't. I'll see y'all next time. Good night, y'all. Good night to you, Ron. Good night, everybody else. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.